Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for a United Daily Live. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but we are back and we'll be hopefully doing these every single day during the January transfer window, as I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about. And who knows, maybe Manchester United will be signing someone in this transfer window. But one thing we do know is Amad Diallo Traore will be joining Manchester United this month. We sealed his signature in the summer transfer window. But since then, Atalanta have known that he'll be joining United this month, but they've tried to extend his stay at their club on a 6-month loan until the end of the season, something which Manchester United have rejected. So we'll be looking at the latest reports in regards to that. We'll be looking at Jose Mourinho's recent quotes, which some people have taken as a dig at Manchester United and possibly Bruno Fernandes. We'll be looking at Timbo Fosu Mensah's contract negotiations as well, as they seemingly stall. We heard Manchester United have made a bid to him, made an offer of a new contract, but it looks like he may have rejected that. But he still does want to stay at the club, so the negotiations could be ongoing. And we look at any news that's heading into that game against Manchester City, who we have next up in the League Cup semi-final. So lots to go through today on AdamMcKola TV. Make sure you're getting your thoughts in as well. Make sure you're keeping it locked, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, join if you can, get your super chats in, all that good stuff. And obviously, after a big weekend for Manchester United, where we got that win over Aston Villa, to go into second, level on points with Liverpool, who are top on goal difference. Obviously, Liverpool play against Southampton on Monday night away from home, which is a tricky game for anybody. Now Liverpool will probably go there and win, having dropped points in their last few games. But Manchester United will then have a game in hand before we play them at Liverpool. So things are heating up nicely. But we know things can change very, very quickly in football. It wasn't so long ago that we thought it could be a possibility that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be heading for the sack. He's managed to turn things around. Manchester United have managed to turn things around. Have gone on a great run since that defeat against Arsenal, especially domestically. And now we find ourselves second, level on points with Liverpool, only behind them on goal difference. And with that game coming up, it's important that we get a victory in that Burnley game, in our game in hand, to make sure that game in hand counts. Because if we can go to Liverpool and get a positive result, who knows what could happen this season. But look, let's not get carried away. Let's not start talking about that. Let's talk about Amad Diallo Traore, who's a right winger who Manchester United sealed the deal for in the summer, as we've said before. He was allowed to stay at Atalanta, where he currently is. He's played in the Champions League. He made a cameo appearance for them in the Champions League this season, where he did fairly well. And obviously, he's been in their squad for the league campaign this season too, although he's not played that much football. But he is destined for a move to Manchester United. And we had heard that Atalanta had made that bid for Amad Diallo Traore to stay with them until the end of the season. But Fabrizio Romano has reported that Amad Diallo is set to join United in January and not in the summer. He will not be part of Atlanta's squad to face Sassuolo tomorrow. Solskjaer wants him now. So that's the latest on Amad Diallo Traore. He was recently given the past the due process and all the kind of things that you have to do in terms of with the British government and visa situations. He got all that cleared recently, and he was heading for Old Trafford before Gian Piero Gasperini, who's the Atalanta manager, came out and said that the club were working to keep Diallo on loan for the rest of the season. His priority though was to join immediately, and it was also United's priority for him to join immediately as well. So great to see that he is coming in, and who knows, he could come in handy as well. Although we have heard Solskjaer, whilst he has no plans to loan Amad Diallo Traore out, he will be welcoming and integrating him into the first team squad as soon as possible and not really rushing him. He's not going to rush him in. Now, he's been part of the first team for Atlanta, so I assume he'd come in and be part of our first team, maybe playing a few games for the under-23s before becoming part of that Manchester United first team squad. And who knows, with someone I've not seen him a whole host, but the clips I have seen of him, and when I've seen him play for Atalanta, when he played in the Champions League this year, you look at it, the pace and the trickery and that he possesses. You look at the fact that we haven't really got an out-and-out right winger. We know, Marcus Rashford has gone over there in recent games. We know Daniel James can play over there. We'll try different things over there, but he is a natural winger, something of which we haven't got many of. So we need to bring those in, and him coming in is a great, it's one of those positions that we need to fill, and hopefully he can fulfill some of the potential and the ability that he has at Man United, even though we're not going to be rushing him. I assume he'll get an opportunity to show what he's made of in the Premier League. And then United will kind of figure out what we do with him in the summer. You get 6 months to see where he's at. Can he handle English football? Is he up to track with what Man United need to do? Because they may think about sending him on loan, giving him a year in the 23s. Do we invest in another right winger? Obviously, we've been linked with Jadon Sancho an awful lot. Now, I'm not suggesting we'll be signing in this transfer window, but those links are always going to be there. He's going to leave Borussia Dortmund at some point soon. And if Traore has a good 6 months for Man United, and it's seriously good, United may think, well, actually, we don't need to invest in another right winger, or we don't need to invest big money in another right winger, because we recently brought Facundo Pellistri into the club. So, obviously, a big opportunity for Diallo, but we can't expect him to come in and be like the main man straight away, or be killing it straight away, because he is very, very young as well. So we need to take our time with him. But yeah, that is the latest news on Amad Diallo Traore, who is destined to join Manchester United. And thank you to Dylan, actually, who's just reminded me that I haven't done today's on this day. So let's do it right now. The day is the 2nd of January. The last time we done this was in August, or around September, because it was bookmarked quite far back. Right, so 2nd of January. Today's on this day. We've got a couple. So the first one is Monday, the 2nd of January, 1905. Tom Arkston gets 2. Charlie Roberts gets 2. Jack Allen, Jack Peddy, and an own goal secure a 7-0 home whitewash of Bradford City in Division 2. It is in the second of a 3-match free-scoring win run over 4 days. A 3-match, 4-scoring win. We played 3 matches in 4 days. Can you believe that? An Allen hat-trick plus efforts from Oxton, Vince Hayes and Roberts battered Burslem Port Vale on New Year's Eve 6-1. And the treble is completed the day after Bradford are beaten, when hosts Bolton Wanderers are defeated 4-2, with Allen scoring twice more and Petty and Henry Williams also on target. So that was on this day in 1905. 4 games in 3 days. Imagine what people would say nowadays if you had that kind of fixture congestion. And then we got Saturday, 2nd of January 1960. So on this day, 61 years ago, Man United are involved in a 10-goal First Division thriller at St James's Park, but they lose 7-3 to Newcastle, with Albert Kixel getting 2 and Dennis Violet scoring Man United's goals. So on this day, 1960, we were involved in a 10-goal thriller. We were on the receiving end of a 7-3 defeat against Newcastle. So that is today's on this day. Thank you very much for reminding me about that. I can see loads of you guys in the comments as well. We got Ross Murphy, we got Peter, we got Vincent, Chad, Vishal, Road Boss, Mohammed in the comments, Messy Mouth as well. We got a super chat from Ryan who says 21 is coming. Good vibes just now. And there really are a lot of good vibes at the moment around Manchester United fans and Manchester United. And obviously 21 is coming. But with it brings loads of nerves as well. And we've obviously got a break now from football, from Premier League football. And you look at the games we've got, Manchester City in a semi-final. It's a good distraction from all of that. And then we've got that game against Watford, which is a good opportunity to rest players, I think, before we go in for those games with Burnley and Liverpool. And if you cast your mind back to January 2020, We lost against Burnley and Liverpool back-to-back games just before Bruno Fernandes come in, and we started to turn around our season. Now it'd be a big shift if we can win those 2 games. Even 4 points, beat Burnley. If you were to draw at Anfield, it's not the worst. But if you could win those 2 games and show a complete reverse from last January, and then you'd be sitting top of the league as well, it'd be massive for Manchester United and massive for the start of the new year and going forward, and potentially for what we could do for this season. So obviously a lot to be excited about for Manchester United fans, especially when you look at, it was great to see him score against Aston Villa, and a crucial goal for him there. He had a crucial goal against Sheffield United, a good performance against Leeds. We're starting to see Anthony Martial perform now. Mason Greenwood, I think, still got to come in, and we saw glimpses of some good performances from him. Set up a great opportunity for Bruno Fernandes. He will get better at goals. Cavani to return from suspension. Obviously disappointed to have him out for 2 games more after that game against Villa, but they're cup games, so he'll be back for the league as well. And Donny van der Beek, Paul Pogba's getting better. There's so much to be confident about at the moment, and so much more to come from this team, you feel, as well. But we've got to take it a game at a time for sure. But yes, 21 is coming. And look at this stat from United report. Man United are 9 points better off this season compared to last season after 16 Premier League games. Now, obviously, seasons are all very, very different. You can't compare really points tallies from one season to another because, if you compared when United won the league in 99, that points tally wouldn't have won the league in a lot of seasons, but we know that team was better than most teams and I hate when people do that. But 9 points better off. So if you were to take 9 points off us right now, we would be on 24 points. We'd still have more points than Arsenal, funnily enough. We'd have 1 more point than Arsenal. We'd be sitting in 10th or 11th. 10th is where we'd be sitting. So that's where we'd be right now if we had the same points tally as last season. We've made massive strides, massive improvements. Bruno Fernandes has been a big part of that. And it's not surprising to see the likes of Jose Mourinho taking little digs at Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes. You're seeing all these fans on Twitter and stuff complaining about Manchester United now and the decisions we're getting. We're starting to worry teams again. And Jose Mourinho said some players score 10 goals a season with penalties. I'm not speaking about Harry Kane, by the way. Someone sounds a little bit rattled. You had Jurgen Klopp and Jordan Henderson both referring to Man United after their draw against Newcastle. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but 21 is coming, and these guys are clearly rattled at the moment. So good from Manchester United. Ahead of that game against City on January the 6th, which is on Wednesday. So the players have got a little bit of a break until then, which is good. Man City's Ederson appears to be a doubt for the Manchester derby, as he is self-isolating following a coronavirus outbreak at the club earlier this week. So Ederson likely to be missing for Manchester City, according to the Manchester Evening News, which again is a good boost for Manchester United if we want to be progressing in that competition. Massive competition. I know it's only the League Cup, but to get a cup under the belt, it's 1 more game to a final. If you get to the final, you got Brentford or Spurs. Obviously, you got to beat Man City. Difficult game, but we can do it. So it'd be great to get to a final and potentially win it as well. We got to 3 semi-finals last year, so that would show progression. Dubsy, what's going on, bro? Hope you're doing well. Says, long time. Sorry, I've been working in the front line. I work in hospital. Hope it's going well. It goes, much love. Keep up. We'll be there once pandemic finishes. Yes, mate. Thanks for tuning in as well, and thank you for getting involved on the channel. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Make sure you're hitting that like button, commenting, sharing, subscribing, get your super chats in, join if you can as well. Obviously, a lot of positivity around Man United at the moment, which is great to see. We've had some quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well before we talk about Timothy Fosu-Mensah. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, towards the end, you see the celebration. That win meant a lot. We should have played out the game and managed the game better. But a defender's job sometimes is to clear it from the line or block it, and we did that. Obviously, Bailly's one at the end being a massive one. Deservedly so, Bailly was congratulated. He's had a difficult time with injuries. He's a likeable man in that dressing room. Everyone wants to see him succeed. We know how important he can be for us, and tonight he was immense. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's getting better and better. I think he's getting better at most things because he's had a season and a half now. He's getting used to United, and I'm delighted with his contribution tonight. I think Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka still have defensive flaws, but they have been looking better recently, which is good to see. Solskjaer on the penalty, that has been rattling everyone's cages. Also said Paul Pogba done well for the penalty, shielding it. He clipped his foot. I think he's getting better and better. And obviously Pogba started the season, coronavirus and all that, wasn't in form. Good to see him getting back to fitness and form because we need all our players firing. In that game, I know Bruno Fernandes scored the penalty, but you look at it, it was a game where Rashford and Bruno didn't really perform, but Bailly and Pogba and Maguire all stepped up, and that's what we need when certain players aren't performing, and Martial obviously scoring the goal. When certain players aren't performing, the other ones have to step up. Bruno could have scored an amazing goal though. It was a good save from Emi Martinez. Solskjaer has said we're improving and getting closer to the top, and we're gelling more and more as a team. The culture in the group's getting better. You listen to the substitutes tonight. I know we miss our fans, but they are our fans. They are supporting their teammates. And it's great that you can hear those things now when you're watching football, and you can hear the benches screaming and stuff like that. But it's definitely a lot of positive feels at Manchester United at the moment, and it was summed up in those celebrations with Eric Bailly after his block. Now, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, who's a great lad around the team, hasn't played much football, has had bad luck with injuries on loan deals, and when he's been back at the club as well. Made his debut with Marcus Rashford against Arsenal, if you remember that, when Marcus Rashford scored 2 goals. Had a great performance in that game. Also had good performances against Spurs and stuff that season as well. And his contract's running down. Timothy Fosu-Mensah wants to stay at United despite recently turning down a new contract offer. He feels undervalued by the initial terms United have offered him. So that's the latest on Timothy Fosu-Mensah's contract. Whether he does stay or not remains to be seen. I'm sure a few clubs would want him. He's a talented player who can play in multiple positions. But obviously, will Manchester United give him what he wants in terms of finances and things like that? Remains to be seen. But I'm sure we'll find out about that one soon. We got another super chat from Jerome, who said, big up, love seeing Tony scoring and Bailly is a rock, Pogba being Pogba, and De Gea is back. Good vibes, FC. De Gea made a couple of good stops in that game as well. And it's just, I get scared to get excited with Eric Bailly, because obviously every time you do, when he comes back and he plays a few games and all that, he goes and gets injured again. But if he could possibly be that centre-back that we've been crying out for alongside Victor Lindelof, or obviously Harry Maguire, who's been very good recently as well. And he's just the perfect foil for him in terms of the speed, the quickness, everything that he brings to the game. His recovery tackles, his blocks. Obviously, you have a little bit of madness with him as well, but I think he's arguably our best defender when he's fit and in the team. So we need to keep him fit. The trouble is he's often getting injured. Now, this could be his time. Who knows? Hopefully the injuries are behind him. But it's just difficult to get carried away now. We find ourselves saying this regularly, and he'll have a good 4 or 5 months and then go and get injured. But, if he can keep fit till the end of the season and prove himself, then we might not have to dip into the transfer market. Axel Tuanzebe is very, very talented. I think Victor Lindelof showed signs of improving. Maguire's improved. You can improve from within. Ted Mengi could be thrown into the mix. Maybe you do sign someone else as well. But, big opportunity for Bailly, and he's showing some good form at the minute, which is good to see. Thank you everyone for your super chats. Make sure you're liking the video. United Daily Live will be back live most days as well. Not sure about tomorrow because I'm on the kickoff. So it depends what time I get back in. But I'm going to be getting a video filmed with Rory. So maybe if you want to leave some questions in the actual comments below the video, not in the live chat, for me and Rory, then maybe we can answer them. General Premier League questions, maybe we can chat about Lampard, Ollie, those kind of things. But yeah, let us know if you've got any other questions. Leave them in the comments below this actual video. But United Daily Live will be back regularly most days, so make sure you're joining us for that. We're getting closer to Amad Diallo Traore joining Man United now. But let's see if there is any other news popping up. Let me just check. Can actually check now on the laptop without it crashing unlike before. Nothing really going on. I'm glad to see that picture of Grealish and Solskjaer circulating a little bit as well. Hopefully Ollie's got into his ear a little bit and said you'll be joining my club in the summer, because if we can sign Jack Grealish in the summer, use him as a player that can play in behind the striker, on the left, on the right, that'd be great. Big fan of Jack Grealish. I thought he was great in the game against United as well. Would love to see him at Man United. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it liking, commenting, sharing. Thank you for your super chats today. United Daily Live will be back very, very soon. So make sure you're back here for that. Until then, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.